I don't often bring you much from America. At the end of the day, we're over here. Why the hell should I? We have our own stuff to worry about. But I've been following this case in America for quite some time now, which has been expertly covered by some friends of mine I will mention in a while. And I wanted to bring you the latest information on it because some of the police work involved in apprehending the suspect who is now in custody is nothing short of incredible. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing alright. I'm not too bad, not too bad. Well, we're at the end of the week now, aren't we? And got the weekend ahead. Let me know what you're up to in the comments. Well, let's have a look at this, shall we? I'm sure all of you in the news have heard about the quadruple murder at the University of Idaho. If you haven't, basically there were 4 students, all quite young, who were brutally stabbed to death while they were sleeping. They were Kaylee Goncalves, Zayna Knodel, Madison Mogan and Ethan Chapin. They were in a off-campus apartment near the University of Idaho, and they were all brutally murdered while apparently in their sleep. There were another couple of students that were in there as well, and they apparently survived. But what's amazing is all this time later, they've actually managed to apprehend a suspect. Now, this suspect is called Bryan Kohberger, and you can see a picture of him here being led into a hearing at the Idaho County Court in Idaho. He's 28 years old. Kohberger appeared before Judge Megan Marshall yesterday, and she denied his request for bail, so he's not going anywhere. Some of the victims' families appeared at the hearing, including the parents of Kaylee Goncalves, and she was heard to audibly sob when the charge was read out. It's an awful situation for any parent, and my condolences to them. Kohberger has not entered a plea, and he's expected to do so at a hearing on January the 12th. Kohberger, this is the bit I found disturbing. He's a graduate student of criminology of all subjects at the Washington State University, located in Pullman, Washington, about 13 miles from where these murders took place. Additionally, the court unsealed several documents that shed some light into how investigators managed to track the suspect down. When he was thousands of miles across the country, he was actually picked up in Pennsylvania, and there's a distance, when I looked on Google, of about 2,500 miles. When they looked at the murder scene, very little evidence was left behind, but investigators were able to link him to a white Hyundai Elantra, and they managed to match his DNA as well from a knife sheath. You got the knife in the sheath, but the sheath was apparently left at the scene. The knife sheath had K-bar written on it. K-bar is a form of knife used by the military, and it also had a US Marine Corps insignia stamped on it. So I wondered, did he get out from an army surplus or something? I don't know. But what actually happened, and this was the amazing bit, on the actual knife sheath there's a snap button. So you put the knife in, cover it over and snap the button. And what they actually apparently managed to do was lift a tiny piece of DNA off that button. And, that's what linked him to the crime scene by all accounts. And they managed to match that DNA up to a piece of DNA found in the family home in Pennsylvania. The affidavit, the court document that was unsealed, reveals investigators interviewed the students downstairs, neighbours identified only by their initials BF and DM. Both neighbours believed the 4 students were all home and asleep by 2 a.m, with the exception of Knodel, who received a DoorDash order at 4 a.m. The DoorDash driver was also questioned by detectives who confirmed she was alive at the time at 4 a.m. Police were also able to determine Knodel was using the TikTok app until 4:12. Sometime after 4:12, DM told police she heard one of her upstairs neighbours say, "There's someone here." She believed it was Goncalves, but investigators also suspect it could have been Knodel. DM looked outside but didn't see anything. She thought she heard crying coming from Knodel's room, then heard a male voice say, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Another neighbour's security camera located less than 50 feet from Knodel's room picked up audio recordings from the scene around 4:17. It picked up voices, a whimper and a loud thud. It then picked up the sound of Goncalves' dog barking. DM then said she opened her door again to see a man wearing black clothes and a black ski mask. She described him as 5'10" or taller, with an athletic build and bushy eyebrows. DM said that she stood frozen in shock until she was able to back away and lock her door. Using this information, detectives were able to pinpoint the exact time the killer was in the apartment, between 4 a.m. and 4:25. They then performed a video canvass. I mean, you got Ring doorbells everywhere, obtaining as much security footage and images as they could from the area, and eventually they were able to identify the suspect's car, the white Hyundai. They were able to track the Hyundai back to Washington State campus, narrowing down the search, and they were able to link it to Kohberger when they realised it was missing a front licence plate. Pennsylvania, where he was picked up, is one of a handful of states where you don't need a licence plate on the front and the back. You only require one on the back. And Idaho, Washington and the rest of the Pacific Northwest all require 2 plates. Investigators attempted to link Kohberger to the crime scene by using cell tower records. His phone was not used in the neighbourhood at the time of the murders, so that could have meant it was switched off, put on airplane mode. There is a process by which they can get all the information from cell towers, where they can find out who was there, where they were, who they were talking to, at what times, who was standing around them. What they did, they managed to get access to a longer period of time off these cell towers, and they found out that his phone was within the vicinity at least a dozen times since June. All the occasions, except for one of them, occurred late in the evening or early morning hours. The affidavit also states Kohberger once applied for an internship with the Pullman Police Department sometime last fall. Kohberger wrote in his essay he had interest in assisting rural law enforcement agencies with how to better collect and analyse technological data in public safety operations. According to the affidavit, it's unclear if he ever got interviewed for the position, so there you go. That's where we are at the moment. He's in custody. He actually got picked up in Pennsylvania, and he had to get extradited from there back to Idaho, and he waived extradition, which meant there would be no hearing. They'd just take him straight there, and he's had the first court hearing in Idaho, hence some of this information has come out. It's a very interesting case, by the way, and I've been following it for, since day dot. It just caught my attention, and it's caught, worldwide acclaim, really. Everybody's talking about it. For more in-depth information, I don't go too much into the analysis with all this kind of thing, because I'm not a cop. I have instincts, I have intuition, I can work out various things, but I can't let too much come out of there because it might jeopardise stuff, and a lot of YouTubers do that. They shoot off at the mouth and make up theories and stories where they're not true. But if you look at Police Off the Cuff, Duty Ron, they're 2 great channels run by former police detectives, and they go through all of this in marvellous, unprecedented detail and let you actually see what's going on, and their take on it. They're brilliant, and I'm sure this will reach a conclusion, but I think it may take some time, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, news from America, and again, my sincere condolences to the families of those 4 young people that were murdered. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Anyway, I'm off. I'll see you with another one soon. Toodaloo.